going on, everyone? We have a brand new video for you guys today. Kind of a special editorial little podcast kind of thing today. And we're talking about our top 10 favorite moments from Avengers Endgame, because it is past the weekend now. Most of you guys have seen it. And I'm excited to share this with you because a lot of you guys keep asking me, where's Cody Curtis? Where's Cody Curtis? Well, Cody, how are you doing today?
Doing exceptionally well. How are you, Zach? Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm not dead, funny enough. But, yeah, I mean, we're excited to do this. And I know weekend's almost over and everything, but just for any of you who haven't seen Infinity or haven't seen Endgame yet, do yourself a favor. Don't watch this video. Go see Endgame, because we're going to be getting very, very spoiler heavy with the things we're talking about here.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, spoilers, starting right now. Holy shit, Tony Stark died. We're going to get straight into this real fast. So, starting with, we have 10 moments to talk about. We do have some small honorable mentions. My honorable mentions is Spidey's reunion with Tony Stark, Hawkeye's family going missing, and on Morag, the relationship between War Machine and Nebula, and when they just knock out Star-Lord. I had a blast with those three things. What about you? What are some of your honorable mentions?
Well, I only have two. You mentioned one of mine, which is the reuniting of Spidey, of Peter Parker and Tony Stark. And then the other one is the whole conversation between Tony Stark, Ant-Man, and eventually Captain America about Captain America's ass.
America's ass. I didn't have that one. Dang, that's a really good one.
I mean, I died. I mean, it was great. Anyway.
Great. All right, well, let's start with my number 10. What we're going to do is I'm going to go with my number 10. Cody's going to go with his. We're just going to go back and forth until we get to our number 1. And, guys, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you guys are new here. And because we do tons of early movie reviews over here, plus lists like this all the time. Plus, you guys can also go over to See How Much Fun Films on how to see films early. And make sure to comment down below what your top 10 favorite moments from Avengers Endgame was. Let's get straight more into this again. Number 10, one of my favorite moments was Rocket and Tony having dialogue. That was one of the things that I've always wanted from the MCU, and we got it. And his Build-A-Bear joke was great. His Build-A-Bear joke was probably my favorite one. There was kind of some subtle things here and there when they were talking, but overall it made it for a lot of the fun times. What about
Perfect. You, that's a good one. I was really hoping to see that too, and we got it. For me, it's the introduction to Fat Thor.
Oh my god. I hated Fat Thor, man.
As soon as he got on screen, I swear I died on the inside, because we'd known Thor this whole time, and his whole body, and him making everybody crazy, and then we get this new interpretation of the character. I absolutely loved it, and once again, I died on the inside a little bit.
It's pretty much the Big Lebowski. I did really like that they had Korg and Meek there, because I did jump up and say, Korg and Meek! Super excitedly. I don't know about you, if you were excited about them.
Oh yeah, I was excited. I was also excited to see Valkyrie come back.
Yes, same here. Which actually brings me to my number 9. My number 9 is Thor giving Valkyrie Asgard to go with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I really liked that moment, because you know, she should be a queen, and I like that they made her a queen. And now Fat Thor is with the Guardians, and I wonder if he will be in the next Guardians of the Galaxy, or if he's just kind of like going with them to get dropped off somewhere. I don't personally want him in the next one, maybe as a small role necessarily, but I just think leave the Guardians to the Guardians and leave the Thor to the Thor movies. If you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I do.
Plus, I know there's a comic run called the Asgardians of the Galaxy, which would be cool if Thor started that and then started his own team, like with Valkyrie. Or if the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is very much the last one for this team, maybe bring Rocket and Groot and put them in the Asgardians. I don't know. I just think that would be a cool little thing, but I did really like all those subtle moments with it. And just his Big Lebowski ass just... like, literally pulling the best Jeff Bridges impression since that damn movie.
Yeah.
It was you know, there were some hilarious moments. I think the thing that just annoyed me is every time he was fat, people would just start laughing. Like, even when it wasn't funny.
Yeah, I can understand that. I laughed pretty hard the first couple of times, but then I just kind of sank into the movie. Which, what I found funny was there was a reference to Big Lebowski. There was also a reference to Hot Tub Time Machine. And, dang it, I'm forgetting the actor's name. The guy who plays...
Don Cheadle?
Not Don Cheadle. The guy who plays Bucky, Stan.
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan. He was in Hot Tub Time Machine, and then Jeff Bridges was obviously Jeff Bridges was in The Big Lebowski. So
that's funny. That is very true that they have these actors inside the movie and they're talking about it.
True.
What is your number 9?
My number 9 is when Tony, Cap, and Ant-Man go back to the events, and the Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner, go back to the events of the first Avengers. That, like, right from the very beginning, seeing that opening clip of when the Avengers first got gathered together, and considering where we are with Endgame now, it was just a very pivotal thing for me, and I thought it was fantastic.
I really liked Banner talking to the Ancient One. I thought that was just a really cool moment, and just their relationship right there that they had. And I really liked Smart Hulk. I really liked Professor Hulk in here. And I just thought it was weird at first, with like, oh, dabbing, taking pictures, but it got better as it went on.
Yeah.
And I dug it.
I completely agree.
Going into my number 8, my number 8 is Thanos. I went for the head death.
Oh!
Where they go to his garden and they just take him out in the first 20 minutes of the movie. And I just love how Rocket's like, what did you do? He's like, I went for the head. That was a very... I think everyone's jaw dropped. No one expected him to die so early on.
Yeah.
And I just love the whole banter right there where Thanos is like, I don't lie. Like, I destroyed the stones. They were to temptation. And that fits in line with his character. And I just really dug that just the arcs and the acts that they took. Like, Act 1 is an epilogue to Avengers Infinity War. Act 2 is the crux of the film with the time travel. And Act 3 is one of the best Act 3s in any film ever made.
Yeah. The cameos were all...
perfect how they structured it through.
Yeah, the cameos were really cool, too. Seeing, I think it was Anthony... it was... One of the Russo, yeah, it was Anthony Russo that was in, and I think it was the first gay character that we've actually officially seen in the MCU, which I thought was pretty cool.
Don't include TV shows, but I didn't mind that he was gay. It wasn't, but there's a lot of articles running with it that I think it's kind of
blowing it out of proportion.
Why are we? Because Sam Rockwell's character Justin Hammer was technically gay too. They don't go into it that much, but he is, and it's just, I feel like some articles are blowing it out of proportion. Like, I wish there was more diversity into that.
Yeah.
I know the new movie's Eternals is supposed to be, I think the lead character will be gay, which is awesome, but I just think some articles are running way too rampant with that.
Yeah, I can understand that. And also, to touch on the fact of the moment that you mentioned, is the fact that none of us, after Thanos got his head cut off, it's one of those things where we didn't know where the film was going to go afterwards, because this whole, leading up, all the marketing was suggesting that we were just leading up to this thing with Thanos, which it happens eventually.
Yeah.
But I guess another thing that I really, really enjoyed about this is to see the Thanos that we got at the very opening of the movie, and then 2014 Thanos, and just how different their personalities are.
Well, one's a very one-note villain, and one is, which a lot of people had complaints with that the time-traveled one really had no development. I was like, at the same time, he kind of did, because it's the same Thanos, just from a different time period. He just hasn't experienced those events yet. So, what is your number 8?
Number 8 for me is the Scarlet Witch versus Thanos moment.
That was a great moment. I didn't have that one, but I love Scarlet Witch.
I just seeing her full power, and especially after the events of Infinity War, it was one of those things where I was just, everybody in the audience cheered, and it was fantastic, because in essence she did kind of get the revenge that she wanted, and we saw just how powerful that Scarlet Witch is, because
she almost killed him. Almost killed him.
Yeah, she did. Which in essence, it's crazy, because that puts her power level up there with the likes of Captain Marvel in a sense.
Yes, which I really liked Captain Marvel in this film, speaking of her, for the small role she did have, and I was really happy she had the haircut. Moving to my number 7. My number 7 is Black Widow's death. And Hawkeye's reaction to it. I went in and I did not think they were going to kill her off. Not one part of me thought they were going to kill her off. until Hawkeye and her went to that planet. Once they went to Vormir, I was like, the only way to get the Soul Stone is to lose something that you love.
It's going to be one of them.
Yeah, well, I knew Hawkeye was going to probably get his reunion with his family. Plus, they announced that Disney streaming service show with him, so I kind of was like, damn it, it's going to be Black Widow. Even though she's getting her own movie, I know it's a prequel. It was emotional. It really was emotional. And it broke me a little bit. Because I really thought Scarlett Johansson gave the best performance in a long time in this movie. I think this is one of her best performances she's ever given. Especially where you see her just like how serious she is and how broken up she is with the peanut butter and jelly scene.
Yeah.
Like, it very much is, like, she is so good in this movie. And it's heartbreaking when she dies. It is very heartbreaking when she dies, but shit happens, I guess. Yeah, now I'm kind of sad again.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the peanut butter and jelly scene between her and Cap, that is actually my number 7.
Oh, cool.
It's cut. Honestly, out of everything, I love Endgame. I don't know if I can say it's my favorite MCU film, but I will say that I think it provided some of, if not the best character moments in the entirety of the MCU. And the scene between her and Cap just it proves it. It's a beautiful scene that is just so heart-wrenching because you see the weight of the world and the weight of everything on both her and Cap's shoulders, because now they are the ones leading S.H.I.E.L.D. essentially, and everybody's gone, and they don't know what they're going to do. Pretty much all hope is lost, so it's one of those things where, yeah, I don't know. It was just really, really heartbreaking, and
it really was. No, I'm with you on that. It's a tough movie, and I think one of the things I love about Endgame, because now seeing it for 3 times, I think this film is the best made film in the MCU. And I also do think that this film is great. It's my second favorite MCU film, though.
Yeah.
But it's these character interactions and these small moments that really make the film better,
Yeah.
than what it is. So I really like all that. Moving to number 6 for me, it is Cap handing the shield off to Sam or Falcon, and also Cap getting his dance with Peggy. So pretty much Cap's ending,
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Very much fan service. Very much
yeah.
but not bad fan service.
It's perfect.
Not at all. It was very perfect. I loved it to death. And there's also a way you could always bring him back, because technically that means there's another Captain America frozen in ice.
Yeah, true.
So
it's a good. Yeah. Once again, another with Cap and. I'm gonna get emotional just us talking about it here. It's just, which I'm gonna say that for later, because the old man Cap and everything there might be up later in my list. But I'll say for now, it's a powerful scene, and I absolutely loved it. But I'm gonna move along now.
Go to your number 6, man.
My number 6. My number 6 is Thanos versus Thor, Cap, and Tony. Yes. That, I mean, before everything shows up. And I think the biggest reason for that, if I was to specify a particular scene, taking all of these guys out, it would be when you see Cap stand up against Thanos in the entirety of his army without anybody behind him. And I came out of the movie.
This film has some of the best shots.
Yeah, exactly. That one particular shot of Cap facing down every single one of those things. After me and my buddies got out of the movie theater, I said, I want to take that. I want to frame it and put it on a wall in my house somewhere.
Same.
It's so good, and it just speaks to the character. It's nice to know after all of these years that. Because with actors and with directors and filmmakers, sometimes you feel as though they can lose track of what the characters actually are. But with this, it's nice to know that everybody still knows who they are, and the characters are so fully fleshed out at this point. It's just so great to see.
No, I agree with you. Which actually brings me into my number 5. Everyone comes back to life. And one of my favorite parts was the girl Avengers all fighting together. Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Okoye, Shuri, Pepper Potts, Wasp. It was Valkyrie. I mean, it was badass.
Yes, it absolutely was.
It was fantastic. Because them just all lining up and seeing how badass they are. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a movie with all of them.
Yeah.
I really want a movie. I don't know how you'd force all those characters together.
If we get an A-Force movie, that'd be great.
Yeah. But I thought it was awesome. I really, my audience cheered out of their seats all times that I've seen this part. And it was just awesome. And I mean, it really goes into that whole third act and how amazing it is. But what is your number 5, my friend?
Okay, so number 1, funny enough, this is the only, I know I usually do this kind of thing, but number 5 is actually a tie, and that's actually one of the things that is tied. The other thing is Black Widow's death at Vormir. But you already said pretty much everything I would have said about the A-Force moment between all the women. It was just so great to see all of them working together as a team. But the Black Widow thing is, once again, super emotional, super heartbreaking. I think it does justice to the character, though, which makes me happy, because it's one of those things where you realize we've always heard about her past, about how Nick Fury gave her a family, about all the stuff, as Loki said, as much red as she's had, that it was heartbreaking to see her go, but at the same time, it's also even more heartbreaking to realize that she felt this is the only way that she's ever going to be able to get rid of her past, is if she takes her own life for a greater purpose. So yeah, that's my number 5.
Nice, man, nice. My number 4 is probably the moment that I think all of us cried on. It's Tony Stark's funeral, when he's just the whole thing. But 2 particular moments, I think this is when I started bawling, and I'm about to bawl right now talking about this. I Love You 3000, when he's going back to Pepper and his daughter, when they're on the video monitor thing.
Yep.
And then when when Happy is talking to her, and he's like, "What do you want to eat?" He's like, "I think I want a cheeseburger." He's like, "Your father loved cheeseburgers. I'm gonna get you all the cheeseburgers in the whole world."
Which that's a great
callback to the first Iron Man.
Yeah, which at the same time, that's also kind of cheating, because they know it's gonna make everybody in the audience cry like a baby, and then funeral. It is a great, which is once again, I can't really speak about it right now because it's later on in my list, but my number 4 happens at the very beginning of the movie, and it's Tony Stark's breakdown when he's talking with Cap.
That's a great scene, and how skinny he is, too.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, it's played down. That was one of the scenes that I was on the verge of tears. I didn't cry. If I let myself, I probably would have, but it's one of those things where you see Tony and all the callbacks from Iron Man and everything, and you realize just how much weight has been on this guy's shoulders since the first Avengers, where he saw what was coming, he tried to do the best that he can, they fought against it, and they still lost, and just that emotional damage that he has weighing on him, that it's like after, the whole time cut to 5 years later, he just doesn't want any part of this because of everything. And especially since after Infinity War, he held Peter Parker's in his hands, and he had his ashes on his hand after Peter left. It's just everything coming back, and yeah.
I will say one thing I really liked on that is his first line to Cap once he gets off the ship. He's like, "I lost the kid." I just I got goosebumps when he got off the ship and said that. I was just like, fuck. First word you say back to Cap, and that's what you say. Moving on to my number 3, it becomes one of the most highlighted moments in this thing. Thor's getting his ass kicked. Iron Man's getting his ass kicked.
I know what you're talking about.
Just gets thrown, hits Thanos, flies back. It's Captain America.
I knew it.
And just another shot that I want framed. Him spinning it, hitting Thanos, and it just that kind of slow-mo shot of him just going down on him again. So fucking bad.
It's so
and I love Thor's reaction. I knew it! So, for me, that kind of goes to say he probably could have lifted it in Age of Ultron, and he just didn't because he didn't want to make Thor sad.
Because Cap's a good person.
Moment. It was another fan service moment, but it was perfect fan service moment. And again, these are the moments why I want to go see the film again.
Yeah.
Every single time. Like, I want to see this film so fucking bad again. And it again goes to the reason why this movie is making so much money. Oh my god, man. It was excellent.
It's incredible. What you brought up a very good point. The fact that Cap was able to wield it in this movie moves that in Age of Ultron, he was really just being a good sport. Because if he could do this whole time, it's like nothing about his personality in the slightest has changed. So, when you put that into perspective, it makes you want to go back and watch Age of Ultron and pay attention to what's going on in that very particular scene.
Yeah, 100%, man. And that's something that the film did really good on. Speaking out of the moments real fast is it enhances a lot of different films. It actually enhanced Thor: The Dark World. It enhanced Avengers, and it enhanced it enhances everything in a sense. All the both Avengers films now enhance the universe to be stronger in a different dynamic, and I really like that they've always done that. So it was a smart thing. What's your number 3?
My number 3. It's when Tony and Cap go back and Steve sees Peggy and Tony speaks with his dad.
Yeah, it was a great moment.
Like I could chop it down to one particular moment, but just that whole entire scene between them had
plus a cameo from Yvette from Community.
Yeah. And also known as for all OG Nickelodeon fans, it's also Helen from Drake and Josh.
Yep.
But then we saw Jarvis. We saw the guy who voices Jarvis. And I think the part where I did start crying is when Tony was talking to his dad and he's like, everything's going to be okay. Oh, and by the way, I have a daughter. And that whole conversation about family, and when his dad says, I don't even have the kid right now, but I can't imagine not doing anything to make his life perfect. Something along those lines. That's when I just started bawling.
Well, I think it enhances a lot of stuff with Tony himself.
Captain America Civil War, it enhances that film a lot because of what that Civil War means.
Yes, 100%.
All right.
I'm just excited. Man, dude, it's heartbreaking. Going to my number 2 is probably the moment that I think everyone in the theater stood up, cheered, cried, and pissed their pants, or even came their pants of happiness. Happy tears, sad tears, geeky tears, sweat tears, all that types of stuff. And that is when the portals start to open and the camera swoops in, you see every single person, even Howard the Duck. Ren Geekness, shout out to him. He actually sent me an image. Howard the Duck is in this scene, which makes me even more excited. But you have Wasp, Howard, Valkyrie, Pepper, Tony, Cap, Thor, Hulk, Ant-Man,
Black Panther,
Shuri, Okoye, every fucking person. Doctor Strange, all the wizards. Camera swoops in, and the hammer comes back. He goes, Avengers, assemble! And they just all start running. And it is the start of one of the best action scenes. Imagine Ready Player One's action scene times 10.
Yeah.
It is fucking perfect. I would literally put that shit on rewatch. That's how amazing it was.
Yeah, especially
beautiful. And there's so many different moments into that, but the chills moment that I got was when he says Avengers Assemble. That is the last time we will ever hear Captain America say Avengers Assemble, and it was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're a nerd and have been paying attention to these films since you've seen these films since you were a little kid. I mean, you think about it. I don't think either of us were in high school when the first Iron Man came out.
No, I was junior high.
Yeah, same here. And it's incredible now looking at us. I mean, we're almost getting done with college, and we've grown up with this stuff. And it's incredible to see it all come to a head. Which, funny enough, my number 2 is Captain America wielding Mjolnir and the reintroduction of everybody back onto the battlefield. It's one of those things. It's one of the moments in the movie where everybody continuous cheer. It's like from the moment that Cap got the hammer to them fighting Thanos to everything. It was fantastic. Oh, and one other moment I need to put in there is the moment when you see Tony and Pepper back to back fighting with in the Iron Man suits. Moment. That was incredible.
It was awesome.
Which is funny.
I loved seeing her.
Which I found it funny. I didn't pick up I can't believe I didn't realize this. The fact that the suit that Pepper is wearing... Dang. I guess I should have realized that Tony made for her. I'm pretty sure that suit may or may not have made an appearance in Iron Man 3, and the mask that his daughter had when she was inside of the little doghouse thing, that's Pepper's. And what I find hysterical with that now is that immediately after Tony brings his daughter back into the house, he says, "Your mother never wears anything that I give her." And then she's wearing the suit at the end of the movie. It's just... Yeah. But, all right, man.
It's amazing.
We're
going to our number one, man. Our number
I think I know what yours is.
My number one, and you're probably right, it's the moment... Not when Captain Marvel gets punched in the face, but I do like this moment with Thanos trying to headbutt her and attempting and not satisfying. No, it's when Tony sees Doctor Strange and he goes like this, and I think that's just this is the moment.
1 in the 14 million.
Up, gets the stones, puts it on his hand, because when Thanos goes, "I am an inevitable," kink, doesn't work. Looks at Tony. Shoots on him. I am
Iron Man.
Boom! Dust his whole Thanos' team. And then you see Tony dying. And everyone's reaction to it. War Machine, a little bit got me a little teary-eyed. Spider-Man, Mr. Stark, we won. And then Pepper. The moment when Pepper said, "We'll be okay." I lost it. I lost it. I'm crying right now.
You and me both.
That moment was perfect. It was perfect.
What?
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm gonna start crying, especially since we're getting down to my number one.
And your number one, I'm assuming, is The Funeral.
No, it's not.
Oh. What is it?
The whole movie. No, I'm kidding. No, my number one starts from when Tony had the Infinity Stones and he snapped, and it's from there to the end of the movie. Now, I know you mentioned the Cap giving the shield to, and this is exactly why I'm going to cry, because I need to explain everything here, is the fact that when it came to Tony Stark and Captain America, everything, the funeral, everything was beautiful. And when Pepper said, "It's okay now, you can rest," bawled like a baby again. But I think the more significance when it comes to where Tony and Steve ended up at the end of this film is that Tony was a normal man, a genius, but a normal man who was Iron Man. And so his ending was perfect. But then Cap was a super soldier who never got to live a normal life. He never got to spend time with the woman that he loved most, and the fact that he got to see her again right before they time traveled back with the Tesseract, and now he has the ability to go back in time and spend a normal life with Peggy. And seeing them dance at the end of the movie, it's a satisfying conclusion to everything. And I know there might be some people who may be angry when I say this. I'm excited for spin-offs and whatever is coming down the road. But if Kevin Feige and the whole team, after everything that's happened with Cap and Steve, Cap and Tony, since they're the ones that started off, if they came out and said, "That's it. As far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe is concerned, we're done. We're going to be moving on with different projects, but we're not going to be working on the MCU anymore." If they came out and said that, considering after Infinity War, I'd be fine with it. Or not Infinity War, Endgame, which is essentially the same thing.
I don't want that. After Endgame, it got me more excited for the future of the Marvel Universe now. Even though I won't have these characters anymore, and I'll always wish that like Tony would be able to have more conversations with Captain Marvel or Deadpool when they inevitably put him in it. I'd love for them. But that last battle sequence made me feel very happy with the new blood in the universe.
Yeah. But
I get what you're saying.
It's just...
But... Yeah.
And seeing Cap as an old man, I mean, that made me very happy. Because it's kind of like... The way they ended it made me very happy because it reminded me of Logan, in a way.
Yes. I think this hit that level of Logan. In just general, the Endgame is a great movie. It's one of the best comic book movies ever filmed and made, and the Russo brothers, Kevin Feige, everyone needs to be congratulated. But I think where this is the Endgame, this is the end of this video. This was a great discussion. I was talking about our top 10 favorite moments from Avengers Endgame. Guys, make sure to comment down below and let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Me and Cody both are going to be down below in the comments looking and reading at what your favorite Endgame moments were. It's going to be a fun discussion down there.
Absolutely.
Spoilers filled, of course. And if you guys watch this without seeing the movie, then you're probably not being able to visualize all these great things because, can't take these moments from YouTube yet because they're not out. Thank you guys again so much for watching this. Cody, thank you so much for joining me. I know
Absolutely.
It's very much random.
Yeah.
I hit you. I was like, we need to discuss Avengers Endgame. Well, the best way to do it is to do it in a video so everyone knows you're alive and not trapped in my basement.
Yeah, exactly.
So, without further ado, let them know where they can find you at.
Yeah, guys, if I'm still not very much back on YouTube, but if you want to see some of my old videos, you can certainly go over to Cody Curtis. It's right on YouTube. Just go to the YouTube search bar. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, even though I'm not on there very much because I don't really use social media that much anymore. But just search either Cody Curtis or _Cody_Curtis. You'll be able to find me. Thank you so much for having me, Zach. I don't know when I'll be back on YouTube, probably during the summer, but it was great to be here.
Well, thank you again so much for having. I'm so glad I could have you guys again. Make sure to comment down below, hit that like and subscribe button, check out Sandwich on Films, and we'll make sure to see you guys all soon. So... stay classy.